drop their kids at 7:30, and pick up time, if they do not have any extracurricular activity, it is 3:20. But Wednesday, we have an early release. We release the student as 1:25 from here. So please pick your word on time and drop them off also on time. This is generally our timetable for the Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, except on Wednesday, which is below, because it is a shorter day. Morning is the mindfulness, and as I said that mindfulness in the morning is extremely important for the students, because students probably is trying to come to school on time, and due to the traffic they could not come to school on time. They are late by 10 minutes, and they are coming with a lot of anxiety, and that will impact them in their first period. This particular period, we are keeping it for the students to be mindful and check their mood, understand at what state they are, so that teachers can really take a right kind of the intervention during the day. And this is also going to give us a kind of an understanding and the data that why the learning is have some kind of the why how their learning has been impacted with their mood. Dr. Funke, myself, coordinator, and the deputy head of student affairs will be looking at the data, because we will be using a new tool to tackle this situation. And this tool will give us a comprehensive data of their mood, what they want to do, how they want to drive their day, how they set the tone for the day. These are the things we are going to do it in the mindfulness, and over the time there will be some kind of the exercise and the mental exercise also we are going to do, which will be coming from the well-being department, and well-being department will implement that thing. This is what I want for the students to really go, and it will come eventually. Period 1 starts at 8:15, and each period is 1 hour 20 minutes. And please look at it that every 2 periods we have a break, so that students are not really consistently really only learning. And even if you try to look at it, lunch, 2 breaks are there after 2 periods, then the lunch, and then the home time. Wednesday, we have two break time, and then there is no lunch because students are going back home during the lunch time at 1:20. So the next one. Tell me next one. Yes. Uniform. I know there will be a lot of changes, and uniform is something very new in this school. As if you have come to the taking care of business, you might have seen there are a lot of polo shirts are coming. However, official uniform is white shirt and these trousers with the tie and the black and the school's prescribed shoes. I think the black, white, and gray. So now we want the students to come on Wednesday with this white shirt and this formal uniform. Formal uniform is white shirt, trousers, or skirts. And this should be worn by the students in every Wednesday. Students, that what actually came to our notice, and we have observed, and we also collected the data from the students, that the students did not like to wear this particular shirt every single day. Because of that, then under the leadership of the Dr. Fatma, there was a design thinking process, that had gone, she actually had gone through the design thinking process to design the uniform, that involving the student, involving the parents, and the part of the management. And they really come out with the proper kind of the design. And that process, Dr. Fatma definitely will tell you when she meets you. And if I don't know she's here or not, probably she's not here. And it was a nice, good process of design thinking process took place to identify that who they want, what they want, and how they want to wear. So, but this uniform, this formal uniform, is important. So we want once in a week they are going to wear this uniform. And when they have the photo shoot and photo days, or the official ceremony or some functions, they will be required to wear this uniform. First day of school, students will be coming with first day of school, students will be coming with these basic things. There is timetable will be shared with the students on Wednesday, that we want the students to have one line notebook, one math notebook, laptop with the charger, headphone if they have, and definitely not the wireless one, pen, pencil, sanitizer, water bottle, folder, and the lunch box. You know that what is needed. Now, we go to the next slide. Then again, I go back to the uniform. Other days, other than the Wednesday, students have a lot of option to wear different other shirts. They can come with the white polo shirt. They can also come with the burgundy color shirt any other day. It could be Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. And they can wear the trousers, or they can also wear the shorts. I think there is a shorts for them available. So Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, they can wear anything, whatever they want. But anything doesn't mean that anything. It should be the school polo shirt and in these two color. And they can, if they have the PE or PA, they can come with the PE and PA uniform as well. Okay. Next. Then the adversity. As a part of the community, we want our parents to be involved with us, parents to involved in their child's learning process. There will be a lot of terms and terminology the students will be using. Oh, I have a PP. Oh, I have a coursework. Oh, I have a e-portfolio. Oh, I have to do, the services action. Oh, I have to complete my learning outcome. I have to do the reflection of this and that essay. So all those things, is very important. And most of the cases, you'll be say, oh, I have a criterion due to complete. Oh, teacher has given me this one, and it assessed the criterion D. So the kids will be talking in that kind of the languages. There are a lot of different kind of the jargons are there in IB. It would be really nice if you really know that what are those, and then you can really guide your child. And also support school by participating in various activities like field trip, various activities like our the career weeks, on so many different activities we are doing it in extracurricular activity, participating in any kind of the workshops. It will be really great if the parents can also come and help us as a community as well as help their child. Considering the fact we have taken a most important factor, which is important for the parents to support their kids, and we created 6 modules, and this module will start from the 12th of September and it will end in next year March. At the end of this 6 module, then the parents will be getting a certificate from our school, which will be really marked as a lifelong learner. Of course, it is a process of learning, and it is so enjoyable and it is so rewarding when we work with the parents and think and talk in the same languages. Okay. Now I think go to that. Now I have to give my talk to Madam Temi, because Temi is really going to take you through the requirement of MYP 4 and MYP 5 and what it entails in these 2 years and what is going to be our next 1 and 2 years journey with the student. Madam Temi, floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam Opana. Good afternoon, everybody. This is just a reminder or a refresher course for those that might have forgotten what the IB MYP is about. These are the subjects that we learn in the MYP, as you're aware, and especially for new parents, I'll just point at some very important core parts of the program. Okay, so we know that MYP doesn't just teach students what to learn. We focus on teaching them how to learn, which means that in the absence of the teacher, the student is well equipped to direct his own learning and be an independent learner. We focus on intercultural understanding. We help students to be open-minded, international-minded, know that they are in a global village. Everybody is working together for a greater good. And then we focus on conceptual understanding, where we teach students concepts, understanding concepts that drive content, because we know that when students understand concepts, learning becomes meaningful, and then they're able to transfer understanding in very unfamiliar contexts. And when we talk about concepts, we talk about big ideas, the concept of change, the concept of relationships, the concept of systems, where topics fall under this. For example, if you're looking at systems, maybe body systems. And then learning in context, when learning is meaningful, students are curious, students, students care for what they learn, and then they want to solve problems that are posed to them. So through this, we have a global context, as you can see in our cycle here. We have global context that we connect to each unit that students learn, and this helps them, relate what they are learning to real life. And when problems are posed, they know where to get, content to solve the problems. We also have surveys. These are important parts of the program, and it's more important at this stage, the MYP 4 and 5, because this final 2 years are serving as, the foundation for the diploma. These final 2 years also serve as the first point of record for the documents that will be going to, the transcripts that will be going to different universities. So I always tell parents, I said, from year 10 to year 11, no subject should be ignored. No subject should be counted as unimportant. Every subject counts as long as the grade will be going to your transcript. So we focus on surveys. If a student doesn't complete this learning outcomes for surveys, the student cannot get a certificate. And we focus on developing learner profiles for students. So we have the different subject groups. Just a second, let me allow this parent in. Okay.
I did.
Okay,
I did.
Okay. So I'm just going to show you the different subject groups and how they work. We have on-screen examination subjects. These are the subjects that students will take exams in. So math, individuals and societies, language and literature, interdisciplinary learning, sciences, and language acquisition. And then we have the coursework e-portfolio. For these subjects, students will not write examinations. They would rather create portfolio tasks that will be assessed internally by their teachers and then moderated by external moderators from the IB. So when students finish this task, the tasks are sent to the IB for moderation. And then we have the personal project, where students are given opportunity to work on a passion project, something of interest to them. They get to make their learning goals, they get to make a product goal, and then they make something. At the end of the day, they send a report to the IB that's also externally moderated. Now, these are the subject groups that we have. Many of our year 10 parents must have had a meeting with me where we had to select subjects for students. You'd see that in group 1, there's English. In group 2, these are the languages there. In group 3, we have integrated humanities. Group 4, we have biology, chemistry, physics. Group 5, we have math, extended math standard. Group 6, we have the performing arts and visual arts. Group 7, we have design. Group 8, we have physical health education. Now, many parents would have seen me or seen my messages, or maybe gotten my call about the awards subject selection choices. I want us to understand that it's very important to choose subjects that students will succeed in. And to choose this, we look at their areas of interest, we look at their career choices. And if they don't even have career choices, what options will, give students opportunities to succeed? Now, this is not to say that the fact that it gives my child opportunity, let me take it. What if the child is not succeeding in that opportunity that you are trying to, create for the child? So we have to look at so many factors to give students this subject. And that is why for the new year 10 students, I had to send a message to each parent telling them about the admission status of their wards. Now, if you saw a message that says that your ward's admission is pending because of certain subjects that he or she has chosen, please, it's important for you to, communicate with me, reply. Many parents have done this, and I'm so grateful. We've come to an agreement about the subjects and what to do and what not to do. I cannot do this alone. We as a school cannot do this alone. We have to do this in support of the parents. And so if I've asked for a meeting, please reply and let us, get that meeting done and work towards getting your child the best result at the end of 2 years. Now, we have requirements for the IB MYP certificate. If a student is going to be registered for certificates after MYP 4 in MYP 5, it means that the student must register for personal projects, interdisciplinary learning. I'm sure you know something about IDL. We call it IDL, interdisciplinary learning. Last year, year 9 students that are now going to year 10, they wrote an exam. Year 10 students that are now in year 11 wrote an exam. So they got a lot of information about what it is, and they were able to use that in their examinations, and many of them did well. So for year 11 students, they'll be writing interdisciplinary learning examinations when they start their e-assessments. The student must take part in service as action. It means that the requirements for service as action, the learning outcomes, all of them must be fulfilled, and at least one discipline from each of these subjects. And then any one from the arts, physical health education, or design. Let me show you what that means. It means that the student will take one subject from this group, one subject from this group, one from this group, at least one from this group. So a student can take biology and chemistry and physics, or just biology, chemistry, or physics. And then in group 5, the student takes one subject from this group. In group 6, 7, and 8, a student can take one, at least one, for their MYP certificate. However, in MYP 4, we encourage students to take 2 subjects. That way they can identify their strengths and weaknesses, and then finally choose the best for their e-assessment in MYP 5. I also showed you something here where I said that these subjects are on-screen examinations. It means, for example, language acquisition, Arabic, French, or Spanish. Students are actually going to write examinations. So if you do not have the keypad, the detachable keypad for these different languages, I think basically Arabic just needs that detachable keypad. So if your word is taking Arabic, then please get it so that he or she can start practicing how to type using the keyboard. And then for language acquisition, they have one component that is usually assessed internally in the school. It is the oral examination. So students will be assessed on how they are speaking the language internally, and this documents will be sent to the IB, who would also listen and assess the students. Also, year 10 parents would see that I've specifically mentioned some clinics for specific students. So for example, if a student got 3 in Arabic, immediately I've said that student would start language clinic when they resume year 10. Please, it is important for parents to look at these admission requirements. If a student has been admitted with conditions, look at the conditions and work with me so that your ward, after 2 years, you see we're celebrating 100% certificate. Your ward would also do the exams and then get their certificate in one sitting. So if a student has been admitted under specific conditions, please look at the conditions and work with me to ensure that your ward is following these conditions. At some point, I'll show you our timelines. At some point, I'll be calling you for further meetings. Okay, so if a student has taken all these subjects and the student passes the 3 from 3 above, so 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is the passing grade, even though in the school, 3 is a red flag for us because it means that the student can write an exam and get 2 instead. So when the student is getting 3, it's a red flag. We call parents in immediately. 4 is a passing grade for us inside the school. But on the certificate, when the student gets 3, it's a pass. Now, requirements for the IB MYP course. Because we are an inclusive school, we know that a particular student might not be able to fulfill all these requirements or would need extra time to fulfill all these requirements. We ask specific questions. What are the learning needs of this student? And this is where our PLD coordinator comes in. What are the learning needs for the students? How can we support these students? We do some assessments to identify areas where we can support the students. We start supporting the student, and then we ask questions. What is the end goal? Things like personal projects and, extracurricular activities opens a student's mind to what his interests are, what his strengths are, what his weaknesses are. We can then choose specific subjects that would help the students succeed in the line of interest. And that way the students can focus on that with the help of the PLD coordinator. We can arrange interventions that will help the student, for example, in math, get the passing grade of 3, or in a particular science that the student will need for that interest, get that passing grade that the student needs so that he can continue his journey. Also, with the help of the university and career guidance counselor, we make the specific pathways, and then we have specific meetings with these parents, more than one meeting actually, where we talk about the pathways and draft a plan for the student's future. So in this case, the student registers for the IB MYP course. What is important is that the student takes a personal project. The student completes service as action, because this is the core for our school. Madam Apana talked about the core purpose of our school, that we want students to inspire, empower, transform for a better world. What other way to show it than through service as action? So we want the student to take mathematics compulsory and language and literature. Okay, and then finally, the student can take any other discipline from this, and this, depending on the student's strengths. I'm going to show you samples of what the certificates will look like. So if a student completes the requirements for certificate and then passes the subject, the student will get a certificate that looks like this, and then the transcript that looks like this. This is the first result that comes out, and then we send it to parents. So it looks like this. You can see that they take the best subjects. So you have from language and literature, group 1, you have group 2, the language acquisition, you have group 3, integrated humanities, you have group 4, which is the sciences. And you can see what they did here. They put chemistry here, and then they put physics here, though they have the same grade. If physics was a 6, for example, physics will be up here, which shows that the student's best is what they use. And then they put the extra subjects taken in the subject group down. And then for math, you have the student's score, you have the art subject, the student has taken physical health education here, and then personal project. Now, look at the student, for example, you see personal project, the student is getting a 7. It shows that the student is interested in something and has put a lot of effort and engagement towards that thing, and the student has succeeded. And then finally, we have interdisciplinary learning that the student has taken here. The student has satisfied all the requirements for the certificate and has been awarded a certificate. You can see here that the service requirements have also been fully satisfied. Now, if a student takes just the course, the student will not be assessed with points. So we would not say the student got 34 points or 24 points, or low points. No, they understand that the student is taking specific subjects that he or she would need to succeed. So we only focus on the subjects that the student has taken and the grades. So for example, you have here language and literature, mathematics, and then you have biology. And you can see what they have done here. In the group 4 subject, they have taken the best of the group 4 subjects and they've put it here. And then you have physical and health education, personal project, interdisciplinary learning. The reason why we always talk to parents about subject choices is that if the student doesn't succeed as much or as well as the student should, it might still limit the student's chances in the diploma. So we would say if, for example, you want to take extended mathematics, then the student should be doing extremely well. Because if the student gets a 4, for example, he might still not be able to take higher level mathematics in the diploma program. All right, so I've prepared this timeline and calendar for you to know all the things that we will be doing. Like I said earlier on, there are so many things that are required of each of our students. So for example, for the certificate, the student needs to complete service. The student needs to complete personal project, interdisciplinary learning. The student needs to complete all the subjects, and the student needs to pass. This means that for us to do this, we have to, look at our plan, our action plan. What are the things that are required? Break them down into short-term and long-term tasks, and then put short-term deadlines and long-term deadlines so that students can, at the end of the day, achieve these things and get their certificates. So for MYP4 students, they have orientation on the 18th to the 19th. We still have a lot of people that have not registered. Please, it's important that you register your words for this orientation. They would understand all the requirements for the final 2 years of the program, and then they would set goals. They would reflect on the past 3 years and make plans to succeed for the next 3 years. And those that are in charge are me, the essay coordinator, and the personal project coordinator. And because personal project is also something that they must pass. Another thing that we look at is, let me just go back. Yeah. So because I already told you that these subjects are internally assessed, this one is also internally assessed. We work with our students, we give them feedback, and then we, work with them to ensure that they give their best to this subject. That way they can pass this subject and focus on their examinations, with revision, help from their specific teachers, they pass it. Now, what happens is if students are missing deadlines, not complying to instructions, the work that they are supposed to produce is in jeopardy. And they're at risk of, getting very low marks, if possible, failing in subjects that they could have passed. So please, I implore all parents to support us. We'll be sending information to parents through ManageBack for short-term deadlines, long-term deadlines. They should look at these messages and, help us to help their wards. So for personal project, for example, we've shifted personal projects to year 10. So students start in year 10 because we notice that it takes time for them to, identify their interests. They come today and say, Madam, I'm interested in technology. Tomorrow they come and say, no, Madam, I'm interested in the environment. And, and it's okay. So we give them time to identify their interests, determine their learning goals and their product goals. So we start from year 10. This will help students to not be stressed when they get to year 11 with all the things that they have to get done. So if possible, personal project, try to complete your work in year 10. That's the first criteria. Personal project has 3 criteria. Madam Barbara will be talking about it in a bit. And so criterion A, where they have to choose their learning goal and their product goals, they have to get it done in year 10. And then mid-semester 1 assessments will be around this date. And what does this mean? It means that after this assessment, students that have conditional admission will be called, their parents will be called for meetings or together with the students, and we'll look at subject change, drop, interventions, depending on how the student has performed. And then we have our end of semester 1 assessment. This is where I start flagging students when I see that after the interventions that we've put in place here, nothing changed. So we flag, do these students need access arrangements? And we work on, Madam Mapana talked about 100%, it didn't just happen like that. It's an inclusive school. Some students got access arrangements after we flagged them. And then the IB was able to, provide them with extra time, a scribe, somebody, but we have to have evidence to back this up. And they were able to do well. So we also have personal projects, still criterion A, strand 2 will be done around this time. The action plan will be done around this time. End of semester around this time. I'll share this presentation with all parents, and so you'd have access to these timelines. And then the full criterion A draft reports will be ready on the 5th of June. So at this point, when students are going on vacation, we'll be telling them, you know what, if you are going to be making a tangible product, you are creating something, it's best for you to complete that product at home. That's during the holiday before you resume year 11. That way, the student's mind is focused on, I just have my examinations and then I have my my portfolio to work on, and then I have reflections to work on in personal projects. So this is for year 10 students, and this is exactly the same thing that we did with our current year 11 students. So I'm sure parents would have seen my emails, videos, and everything I posted on ManageBack so that we can get these requirements done. So we go to MYP 5. They'll be having their registrations for e-assessments between the dates that have been provided. Students will focus on only the subjects registered. This means that after students have chosen the specific subjects that they would want to be assessed on externally, we'll let them just drop other subjects that are not necessary and they can focus on these subjects. So for example, the portfolio subjects, they were previously taking 2 portfolio subjects. Now they'll be required to take just 1. But what I'm going to be doing here is we'll be looking at how they have performed here before they make that choice. And I just want to say this to MYP 4 parents. I observed something recently with the current year 11 student, that's the MYP 5 student. I think because of the mindset that I am going to do 1 subject in year 11, that's for my portfolio subject. So I don't care about the other one. And so they do not put effort in one particular portfolio subject and put some effort in the other one. What happens is the skills that you should have developed in both subjects, because they're all portfolio subjects, you don't develop. And you think you've developed it enough, but you're not able to self-assess between two subjects. They go to one subject and they still do not do well. So for year 10 students, if you've taken two subjects, like for example, drama and visual arts, or drama and physical health education, it is important for that student to put equal effort and, commendable effort in these two portfolio subjects. So we finished criterion A, good for us. Madam Barbara has sent an email to students to complete a spreadsheet where they talk about their learning goal, product goals, so that they'll be assigned to supervisors. If you need any clarification, anything, please just send an email to me or Madam Barbara. Some students have been sending emails already. Send an email to us and let us, work with you to ensure that you comply with these deadlines. They will get their supervisors assigned to them latest 28th of August. And after that, Madam Barbara will share another timeline, small timelines, where they have to, have their first official meetings, second official meetings with their supervisors. These supervisors would, work with them, give them feedback, see what they're doing weekly, alongside the help they get from the coordinator and the personal project coordinator. Criterion B will be submitted on the 30th of November. Why? Because on the 1st of November, teachers would get access to the topics for e-portfolio tasks, and they would be planning their units with me throughout November. And at some point in November, students will start their e-portfolio task, the task that is due next year. They would start it first semester, year 11, and they'll be given the adequate support. So as you can see, start of e-portfolio units is around mid-November, and I would expect that their research, which is criterion A, investigation, should be completed on the 5th of December. This way, teachers can go through what they have done, give them feedback before they go on vacation, work with the feedback given to them during the vacation, submit their work when they resume for second semester. So end of first semester examinations is here. Students would write a sample e-assessments. So the kind of e-assessment they will write in May is what they would write here, but it's not going to be too serious. The goal of this is for them to understand the examination procedures, what time to come in, how to sit down, how to behave in an examination setting. That's the whole idea. So they'll be given, and to create that seriousness in them, and then to self-assess how ready they are for the e-assessments. That is why they will be writing these exams in November. And then e-portfolio task deadline, second drafts, is January 16th. This is around the time they will resume for second semester. Personal project criterion C, because they've finished their products, when they resume January, they would only be reflecting on what they've done. What skills did they use? What learner profiles did they exhibit? What are their strengths and weaknesses? And what are the areas of improvement? Very short criterion C. That's what they would do. And then they would finish the 28th of January. Why? Because these students are students that will also be engaging in our 20th anniversary AISA Gs. And so we want them to, have a lot of things completed so that they can focus on other things and also prepare for their mock examinations. So when they are done with this, their mind is all set. They can get quality feedback and work on any other thing they need to work on before they finally submit. So we have mock examinations 26th of February to 5th of March. Why? Because we want to identify, after all we've taught them, what other weaknesses can we find? What intervention strategies should we put in place? And then finally, we'll be able to make predictions based on our interventions that this is the final grade the students would end up with, because we have to submit these predictions to the IB. And then finally, we have our PP exhibition, that's personal project exhibition, on the 8th of March. I request that year 10 parents and, of course, year 11 parents should join this exhibition. This will help year 10 parents to, see what other students have done and also support their words to create tangible products. And so finally, the complete e-portfolio first draft will be submitted on the 20th of March. I would be able to look at each student's work, and we have up to 40-something students here. So I request that parents help me to help students work on their submissions. If students submit early, to give us time to look at it, remove errors, and submit quality work to the IB. And then the complete e-portfolio submission will be around this time, because we have to now send each student's work one by one, each student's video to the IB. And then the IDL lessons will start on the 1st of April, because they would release the topics that students would be assessed on around that time. And I will be teaching them IDL. And also around this time, their timetables will change based on the weaknesses we've observed and gaps we've observed here. And teachers can, give them more support in the e-assessment subjects now. So around this time, students have finished their e-portfolio, they have finished their personal projects, they can just, work on their e-assessment subjects. And finally, they write their examinations in May. I don't know if Madam Barbara is in this meeting now.
Amy, you have already covered quite a lot on the personal project. I think you can skip and you can move faster. Okay. And definitely on the open house, parent will be having a lot of opportunity to meet Barbara and talk about it. And Dr. Funke, would you like to really give a little bit of a statistics of this year, how Wellbeing Department worked with our students to achieve that 100% results?
Okay, thank you, Madam Alpana. Thank you, Madam Temi. Good afternoon to you all. My name is Dr. Funke, and as I've been introduced, I'm the head of the Wellbeing Division. So the wellbeing, really, what I want you to think about is three things. We focus on child protection, our wellbeing curriculum, and our counselling interventions. And when we were doing the statistics last week with Madam Temi, we were looking at which students were accessing us for counselling interventions or wellbeing check-ins. And we had 17 students that had access to the Wellbeing Department and were being offered, whether it was our Improving Your Thinking program or other interventions that we have within the department. So what is crucial here is that we work as a whole school. So every department, every division is what's helped us to get these amazing results within our students. And we are an inclusive school, so we have students with a range of abilities, but what we strive for is to make sure our students maximize their potential and have all the resources to do that. So I'm really looking forward to receiving our existing students and to new students, and we will be giving out lots of information about what we will be doing in our Wellbeing Department. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Funke. Yes, and we have ManageBack for the old parents. I know that many of you have access to ManageBack and you are able to, walk around it. For new parents, these are the things the features that ManageBack gives you attendance. So you know how your students are attending their classes, your wards are attending their classes, sorry. You know if they are getting late to class or they are coming early, and if a student is absent, you would know. ManageBack for behavior logs. Please note that sometimes when you see a particular behavior, a message about students' behavior, if you are not called for any meeting, most times we want to make you aware so that you can support us. And if you want to, communicate with the teacher who has put it there, why not? You can just send an email for, further discussions about whatever information is put there. And then we put these things to identify patterns and, see how to help your ward. And then we also have ManageBack for curriculum planning. So you're going to see what units students are learning and how they are learning them. We have ManageBack for assessments. You see formative assessments and summative assessment, because your words are in year 10 and 11. I implore all parents to please go to ManageBack regularly. If possible, create a date or a day in the week where you would always go to ManageBack, look at your words grades. From formative assessments, when you're seeing things like 3, it's red flag. Notify me, notify the teacher. If you're sending mails to the teacher, please copy me so that I can, follow up with the teacher, because we want the best. And I've told you what three connotes in MYP 4 and 5. So ManageBack for reporting, you'd get students' reports parents should please check the awards reports. I don't want to hear that you have resumed, you've not gotten the report. Immediately after we vacate and you've not gotten reports, many parents were sending me emails. Please send me emails so that I can follow up and then you see the report. That way you can work with your wards at home and, discuss on the way forward, help them reflect on, of course, we'll be reflecting in school too, but help them reflect on whatever it is they've done. We also have ManageBack for announcements, especially for year 10 and year 11 parents. There will be so many announcements because of the timelines you have seen. You see short-term goals and long-term goals. We'll be announcing, we'll be reminding, we'll be giving deadlines there. Please look at it and ask questions. We have ManageBack for student reflection. Students will also reflect on ManageBack and you have access to this reflection. Okay, so this is what your ManageBack app should look like on your mobile phone, where you have attendance and timetables. You would see what subjects your wards have every day, at what time they have them. You might not see it now because students have not been added, but from next week onwards, you'll be seeing the subjects they have at what time they have them. And you would also see submit attendance excuser. I hope that my students would not have reasons to, not come to school. But please, if anything happens, for example, sickness, emergencies, please send attendance excuser. This way, all the teachers for that day would get a direct message from you that your ward will be absent for so and so reason. And that way they can support your child when he or she comes back. And finally, you have tasks and deadlines. So as you can see, for the subject, you would see when you click on it, it would open up and show you what subject this is. And you can see summative. When you see summative, it tells you that it's a task that caps the learning for that child. And so we expect the grades to be good. If you see formative, it shows that the student is still learning. It's a learning journey. And the student might not do well, but the student would be helped. There'll be interventions. The teacher would try to identify gaps to help your ward. So if you don't see a grade for a formative task, it might be because it's a classroom activity. But if it's like a test or something and you're not seeing a grade, please notify me, notify the teacher, copy me, and then I'll follow up on it. Because, we want to monitor what our children are doing right from day one. Okay. And when you click on each of these, you would see more information about the task. And it tells you what kind of task it is. If you see an online assessment, then it's a pretty formal work because they have to type online and submit their work. When you see pending, it means the student has not submitted. When you see submitted, then the student is probably waiting for the task to be graded. If it is graded, you will see a small number on your right. 5, 4, 3, 2. The number that you should be scared of is 3, 2, 1, or 0. Okay, and then we have the notification preferences. So on your mobile phone, if you click notification, there's a place where you can, choose how you want to receive notifications. If you want to get direct emails or if you're okay with your mobile notifications. What ARIS expects from parents? We want you to be visible. If we call you for meetings, please, tell us what you would prefer. If for one reason or the other, you're not able to come physically, we can set up Zoom meetings with you, but please be visible. Let's know that you are supporting us to support your child, okay? And then be organized. Like I said, find one day, you would always look at ManageBack, you check everything. And when your wards know that you're organized, you're like a model, they would also be organized. Be caring. At this point in time, they might feel overwhelmed. So words of encouragement, words for support, for them goes a long way. When you see something that's a cause of concern, you can easily contact the wellbeing department, talk to me about it. If there's something that is just not right, maybe in a particular subject, don't wait till the end. I really appreciate parents that have come forward, talked about it. We've had discussions, we've had to build relationships with teachers, to help their wards get the best from their learning experiences. And then be an analyst. How can you be an analyst? You're looking at ManageBack, you're looking at grades, you're asking questions, and also lead by examples. Children watch what we do. So show what you want that word to be. So when you show by example, students would just, look at it and would want to be like their parents in different scenarios. So we have our policies here. I'm going to share this presentation with all parents. Look at the policy, especially for this group, because this is the group where ChatGPT became very popular. Academic honesty. I've had to give students 0 for academic dishonesty. If you go through this document, it tells you the type of situations that we might find students in and the consequences, plagiarism, collusion, and the rest. So it's important that when students have, especially portfolio tasks, where students are creating a portfolio, it is important for students to be academically honest. They should not plagiarize, they should paraphrase, they should, put their references in the right places, and we always help them do this. So it's also important for parents to help us. When you see a message on behavior about academic honesty, it is critical. It is critical. So you'll be called for meetings. Please, you have to attend these meetings. We have to talk to your wards about it. And then mobile use, mobile phones cause distraction. So we always tell our students to keep mobile phones in their lockers. We don't expect parents to be chatting with their wards during school hours, like when lessons are going on. It doesn't speak right. It means that you are not working with the school. So that from 7:45 even to 3:20, your words are in one class or the other. You should not be sending messages to them. If you want to communicate with your ward during school hours, call the front desk. They would find your words and then you speak with them. Also, behavior. These last 2 years are critical. They are crucial. This is not the time where we want students to be misbehaving, because if they are, beyond, if the behavior is beyond, low-level behaviors, it might lead to an expulsion or suspension. And I would not like to have students that are planning for exams to be suspended. It affects their learning, and it gives me more work to do with them. So please, we want students to be well-behaved, and I want you to reiterate this in your homes with them. We want them to be well-behaved, and we want them to be, conscious of the things that they do in their classroom, even under stress. We are working with students, and it's a learning journey. They will get there at the end of the day, but we want them to be well-behaved so that they don't miss lessons, especially. And then you'd have access to our MYP handbook. It has all the information you would need about subjects, how they are assessed, different assessment criteria. Everything you need is in the handbook. And finally, yes, you can contact us here. If you get a message from Madam Barbara because your ward missed the deadline, you can contact her with this email address, and you can copy me if you like. And if you want to speak to me, you can just contact me with this email address. If you want to speak to the head of school, you can use this email address. The front desk, you want to say something, you want to check on your word, you can use this email address. And the counseling department, you want to talk to Dr. Funke, you can use this email address. Okay, great. If we have any questions.
Hello, Kanabaji. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, quick one. My ward is starting from year 11, and we're talking about registration of orientation. Do we have to physically do it, or is it automatic? Do we have to come to the school and do it, or is he registered automatically?
Your ward is in year 11.
Starting is a new student starting year 11.
Yeah, that's Nukwari if I'm
Yeah.
So I would help him directly. The okay. Is for year 10 students. I would support him, and then you basically cover all the things that he has missed, continue with his classmates, and he's going to.
Okay. So you've answered. I was going to ask about a personal project as well.
Yes.
So obviously you help you with that one as well.
He's going to have a personal timetable, and he will be supported all through to get everything.
Okay. All right.
We've had cases like this, and the student did extremely well. She passed all her subjects very well. So you don't have anything to worry about.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Hi.
No, I'm going. I have a 5:30. I have a 5:30 meeting again.
I've seen a message here. Can there be a part where a child might be late due to medical appointments? So in the case of medical appointments, please let us know on time. And you can also even call the front desk about it. Or if possible, if a child would come to school and at some point you pick R for a medical appointment, I subscribe to that. Not missing the whole day because of a medical appointment that is probably 2 hours long or 3 hours long. And if you want to communicate with me, you can send an email. I'll be happy to help you. Okay. Looks like our parents are good. They don't have questions. You can send a question through chat to me personally if you don't want to share with everyone.
All right. So it seems that somehow, some way, we made everything clear to you, but it is not going to be very clear to you. There will be a time that we are going to, call you. You need us. We need you. Please, let's communicate well and join our open house, please. We really, really want you to be there in our open house, and we will get connected with you, and we'll see you then. When is our open house, Temi? Can you just specify the date?
30th of August for MYP.
30th of August from
Yes.
2 to 4 o'clock.
Yes, please.
30th of August from 2 to 4 o'clock for year 10 and year 11. You'll be having a great opportunity to meet our teachers, meet your child's teacher, talk to them if you have any kind of the questions. You can clear that questions with us, and we'll be always available to connect with you physically. It's very important that face-to-face, the connections and the communication is important. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Was it over now? Oh.
Yes, please.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much.
Thank you
for your
again.
time.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
टेमी नहीं तो मैं तो स्कूल में ही रखूंगी, मैं घर पे नहीं लेके जाऊंगी। ओ ना, मैं तो स्कूल में रखूंगी। मेरा सारे कब तक ना
बॉटल लेके आऊंगी पानी के लिए, और मेरे पास कॉफी के मग्स हैं, मशीन वाले, वो पुराने वाले सारे, आई यूज देम। ये वाला मैं घर लेके जाऊंगी।